Hello everyone, Pierce Nation here. Welcome to a new video. Today we will be discussing a definite tier 1 memento deck profile. This is basically what you're going to see. It's exactly what I'm going to be running. Maybe a few minor changes here and there, but for the most part this is exactly what I'm going to be running. The deck is absolutely insane. There is not very much needed to be said. I will show you exactly how it operates and all the main functioning parts. I'm just going to be like a 10-15 minute video, basically discussing the broken necessities that this deck is and everything you need to look out for if you're playing against this and what other cards do. So without further ado, let me see if I can get into some test hands. Okay, so basically straightforward here. I'm going to be able to show you the best way to do this. So you pop this in hand and you will get to special summon your Dark Witch. So special summon in defense. Dark Witch will trigger and she will add you a memento card from deck to hand. We actually have all the ones that we need for this, so I will add a mace because there's not a whole lot you need to do here. This does play under nib. This can banish in order to inflict piercing to defense position monsters, because if your opponent tries to bypass you, you can kill them on the next turn with another soul. So in this deck, it can go first. It's really strong going first, but it can also go second. I don't advise it against like Centurion and Rescue Ace. Sometimes it struggles. There's a lot of times where you end up with Thrust in hand, so you're fine. Basically, to get this combo started, you need to activate your field spell. Your field spell is the best way to get this off. You do not have to have the field spell to get it to work. I'm going to show you one of the ways to do it. So special this, you activate this to pop itself. You're going to send Fairy Witch, Mace, and Goblin. These are the three that you need to be doing. This is going to target this to special summon either Goblin, Mace, or Fairy Witch. The one you want to special summon here would be Mace. This is summon number 3. So activate, pop the mace, and you will get the crap. Now from here, this goes nuts because you're going to special summon the Goblin by popping the Witch. And you could get nibbed here, but it's not very likely, as you can see. All this stuff going on. The only thing you're going to be able to activate is Bone Party. So do this, you're going to pop it, and you're going to send the Nether Soul Dragon, and you're going to send the wherever it is. And let's start with that. Yeah. I did. Awesome. I couldn't remember if I sent it, destroyed it, whatever. So basically from here, it's pretty straightforward. You can get nibbed in this occurrence, but you know it's not very likely. So basically, you just want to shuffle everything back from graveyard except for a Fairy Witch, and you want one of those. So you're gonna shuffle all 4 of these back, or all 5 of them back, and you're gonna special summon defense mode. It is a 5k body. You set the trap, and this is your inboard. Now, look at this and you say, well, it's not a very strong inboard. You got 1 monster, field spell, and a trap. Well, here's the thing. These newer decks that are more consistent only do damage if they're using monster effects. And your little trap that's over here says, while you control a memento monster, your opponent monsters Can attack, must attack the memento you control with the highest attack. Your choice of type. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you can target one immortal Tecular, the Nether Skull Dragon you control. It loses exactly 1000 attack and defense, and if it does, negate that activated effect. You can do it once per chain, which means you can do it multiple times. So with this board, you're not going to get hit with evenly. It's not going to happen. If your opponent evenlies you for 2 cards, they're fighting a losing battle. Because this deck going second is absolutely insane, let alone they get a chance to survive and you put up 1 negate. That will not solve the problem because of the way it floods graveyard. And any card, again, your main deck and thrust is going to be able to out anything. So it's kind of radical, plus your field spell will do work for you too. And that's one thing that's overlooked in this deck. So basically, just pass. This effect will get Bone Party back. So basically, it does not matter what happens here. There's no need. So as you can see, it's pretty consistent. The deck does not brick, like, period. And to show you, I'll do another test hand. Go ahead and restart. Okay. Again, we're very playable. So, unlike other decks, Memento is one of those decks that are just out there. The deck never bricks. Honest to God. With this deck, you can play without the field spell in order to get to the boss monster. Don't have to do all the necessary plays in it to get it to work. That's the funniest part about this deck. It doesn't care. There are exactly 27 starters in this deck. You don't have to play Pot of Prosperity. You heard me correctly. 27 starters. I have 2 currently in my hand, and a 3rd, which is your thrust. So you can thrust into Rhoda or 1-for-1, get out a mace, go to town, or you can do Goblin. Because if you do your Tatsunut Chigo and it gets Ash, fine, because you can thrust into Rhoda, basically anything. So the way you play this deck, it all comes down to the pilot. Really, all this deck comes down to the pilot. I can show you plays inside and out, but if you cannot physically see where you need to think about how to do things, then that is your own fault, your own stipulation. I can show you basically how to play it, but it's up to you to learn how to play it. So basically, what makes these decks scary is they just don't brick. So I would normally start off with a special. So if you get here, you're cool. You can use effect. No. It doesn't matter if they had it or if they didn't. So I'm just gonna play it the way that I play it. So again, with this, you hit Fairy Witch, Mace, Goblin. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Whatever. So basically, all you have to do, I'm trying to make sure I remember Mace right. Yeah, which really doesn't matter because from here you can go Field Spell, and then you can do this play where it blows itself up, and it will add any of these to your hand. Which in this case, it really doesn't matter what you add to hand. This really doesn't. As you see, we already have 4 different names in graveyard, which makes this deck already, you know, is absolutely bonkers. So what I would do is for follow-up for the next turn or whatever, you could add anything. I'm going to add this guy just because he's alive, and if something were to happen, I could get him off the board very easily because he will special summon in this case. There are multiple ways to do it. This is just a way to do it. Obviously you're supposed to activate the field spell before you do anything else, but it's fine. It is what it is. So you can actually invade here, which is not the best case scenario. And then you got this guy, and you're full, and you're ready to go. You could do a lot of things here, but basically you just normal summon. The deck doesn't restrict you in any way, shape, or form. You can basically just make it a little knight for fun. Use this dude, start shuffling everything back. And then you can bring in a 5k body, and you can swing for 5600 damage with just 2 monsters, which is kind of crazy. Your opponent's definitely gonna put out some stuff. I was just showing you like real currents, and as you can see, this is one of those hands where it's kind of iffy. You know, you get hit with something, it could hurt, but also you still don't break. So you normal this, and activate. Pop itself, and special effect, which will activate, and it can get you to this. Now this is where your field spell is very important. So you can activate your field spell first, or you can put it on in the situation where you're going to need it. More than likely, if you're trying to get a good setup, I would not do it this way. Again, I'm just showing you how to do it. So you do this, blow itself up, go goblin, mace, fairy witch, the effect, target, and you will special summon the goblin. Go goblin effect, blow itself up, and it does so. From here, you can just basically shovel back everything. 3, 4, 5. There you go. And you're right back in the same situation as you were the first time. The only difference here is you actually have a monster left on board, which is fine. So you set 2, and you go in phase. You can't get hit with lightning storm, besides the back row, and more than likely it's not going to happen. So as you can see, if your opponent would activate a card or effect, I will show you exactly how this works. Like you activate this, cool. You respond with this. Like, of course, in a mirror you can add your own stuff, but see how this works. You can literally revive back the Dark Blade. Oh, it has to be a memento card to discard, which is kind of bonkers. But basically, the memento mirror match comes down to who gets Dark Blade, because literally it'll kill. So you can literally get started with any of the memento cards. It just depends on how you play it. Of course, I'm like here right now, so like whatever. But I'm just showing you that every hand you pull is gas. We start again. Gas. Because you'd say, oh well, this would be bad. No, you get the Dark Blade, which is another starter. Restart. Here we are again. Bone Party is another starter. That gets you here. Let's restart again. would be dead, but there's Rhoda. And now you're starting again. These are all ashable things, by the way. And you're right back to it. So, well, again, you draw Dark Blade, so another Dark Blade play, or you can go Memento, pop this, and then go from there. Again, Memento, pop this, Dark Blade, and you got the Rhoda, so it really doesn't matter. You could literally just bait with Rhoda, and then fall for it, and just go Dark Blade, go full combo. So this one is basically Dark Blade and the Field Spell. Like you can see, I'm just restarting and just giving you basic scenarios. This hand's absolutely cracked because if you hand trap it, you're gonna pay. Like severely. I like Judgment in the main better than I do other things. The way I can stop certain things. Bone Party is just an E-Telly, which is stupid. It works with the Field Spell because you destroy one, which is absolutely stupid. And then for like your big guy, this gives it piercing, and it attacks literally every monster. So we'll restart again. Now you say, well, you can't really do anything here. Yeah, you can Bone Party, you pop this, and guess what? Automatic starter. This hand's pretty good. Not cracked, but it's pretty good. So why this card is like super important is it will actually allow you to take your opponent's card if you control the big dude, which is how you get outed really fast. Because, you know, you keep trying to climb up and everything keeps getting negated. Plus we play Ash and everything like that. A very cracked hand. There's not really much you can do here but pray. Field Spell activation is not once per turn. I can do it again. I can only use each effect once per turn. Fine by me. Okay, you got 1 for 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the 1 for 1 play line. Which is to ditch this and use Special Mace or use Special Goblin. And depending on your situation, depends on what you do. If you're trying to get to the Field Spell to get off the Fairy Witch, I would do that. So basically I'll show you exactly how to do that. But it all would really depend on what you need to do. Me, I know I can get to my main line, and my Field Spell is very important to me, but it is not the most important thing. So I would actually pop this and add this, because anything else I do is going to enable me to get there, and I will show you. So as long as you get to this part of it, this is what you need. So this is where this thing gets kind of wild. And if you do it correctly, you will always win. So you destroy itself, then it, Goblin, and the Mace. And then you can do this, special back the Goblin, which puts you under nib range. It probably won't in this instance of it, but in all reality, this is the shortest way to it. And then you're gonna send, I believe the Trihorn's already in there, which it is. Send this, and let's say, like, Fracture Dance. Really doesn't matter. And then you just go Nether Soul. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You do this, they all have to be different names, which is fine. It's not that hard. Getting on this. You set 1, set 2, you pass on that. That's basically all there is to it. Yeah, you don't have the Field Spell, but you are still able to get there, which is the most important part of the deck. So you say, okay, that's kind of crazy. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how the deck kills now. Because now you know how to get to the easiest parts of the deck combo, and you understand how the deck works now and what it's trying to do and how evasive it can be. Also, it will kill you in a heartbeat. So we will restart this. I will act like I'm going second. I will go in phase. They will draw. So basically, I'm going to normal this. These are just bodies. Actually should have done that. I don't know why I didn't allow it to do its thing. Kind of sad. Restart. Yeah, forced myself to end phase. This one's actually great for this. Go and search it out a nether soul. Whatever. Special this dude. Use its effect off itself. Because there's gonna be a lot of players that do this by instinct. And then they get to here and they're like, oh shit. What do I do from here? I mean, you can shuffle them back from hand, it really doesn't matter. 4 or 5. So if my opponent just puts out a nether soul, and the witch, how would I go about outing this? Pretty simple. So here we go. This is basically what you do if you're going to break this board. Because the minute I activate something, this is going to change, which is fine. This is right where I want to be. So basically, I want to normal the fairy witch. We'll activate the effect, and I will go get something very, very valuable, like maze. Basically, you can just get follow up if you want. It all just depends on what you want to do. I'll just grab another dark blade. Nether skull. We're going to a special maze pet. Whatever. Like, okay. Just another body. It's just fine. So basically, you need to get through this card. And to get through a card, you must understand, like, what does it have. So if you control no other cards, this monster can attack all of your opponent's monsters once per turn. If your opponent activates card or effect, you can spell summon one memento monster from hand or graveyard. So again, it's very important to know your setups and know what you can and can't do. Basically, what you do here is you're going to thrust, and you're going to find an out for this damn thing. Which, one of your best outs for it is this card. So you need to get this card engraved in any way, shape, or form. Whatever. Okay. Doesn't really matter. It's just as long as you know how to out it. So all you really need to do, and you don't need to do anything special, is you need to get this in the graveyard. But in order to do that, you need to figure out, how do I do that? So for me, if I'm you, I'm grabbing terraforming. Yes. And this is one of the first plays I do, as I need terraforming. Because to out this in a mirror, you're gonna need this fill spell. Now, it's not gonna be set in stone like this, like, don't think that, it's gonna be this easy or whatever. Because that is not the case whatsoever. It is not gonna be that easy. It is going to be rather difficult to do. You're gonna blow itself up, and you're gonna send the dance and Always check graveyard, that way you know what's in it. So we have 4 with different names. So the next card I need to send is going to be the Trihorn here. Basically, all you need to do is pop this, special back the mace. Mace effect, blow itself up to go and get you the big guy. So this is working now. Go get your big guy. This needs to be the only card you control in order to get this to work. So everything you want to do is you want to shuffle them back from the graveyard. As much as physically possible. Specialist in attack mode. And now you have successfully cleared the board because you have done everything necessarily possible to out the board. Obviously it's not this easy, like it's a lot harder because it depends on your pilot. Your pilot needs to be precise, and in order to be precise you've got to be able to nail through boards like this, where, you know, this is a new deck and people really don't understand how it works. I completely understand how it works inside and out. Every once in a while I will take a wrong route, which is fine. You know, we are in the learning process of this deck. This deck is not out yet. I already know it this far, so I'm way ahead of all of you. Not to gloat, brag, nothing. It's just I put a lot of time and effort into this deck, and I know this deck is as good as advertised. So when you break boards like this, where do you go from here? Your best bet is basically doing nothing. You don't get another attack. You don't went to Dark Blade, whatever. So in phase, and they have 1 card in hand. The minute they would special summon, you can go chain 1 and then go chain 2. Take this, and then you can special your Dark Blade. Your opponent can thrust, and this is all they can get. This is why it's very, very important to know the matchup, know the thrust targets. Now, if they're going second, they'll probably side in the side cards, which I didn't go over the side deck at all. We'll get to that in just a second. But basically, the main, you know, in game 1, going second, this is going to be going first or second. This is going to be the cards that they have mained, where like it's all engine. They could get a field spell, like it's great, but it's still the only card in hand, and they can't really out things with it. So, you know, this is where we are in turn 4, is we're in the danger zone and we burnt through a lot of resources. This is why you don't misplay this deck, because if you misplay the deck you will lose really, really quick. So basically we will leave this. I will not save that, and I will go over the extra deck and the side deck. So the extra deck and side decks are made very wild, if you could say that. Reason for this is Memento is not a normal deck. It plays, there can be only one, it mains it, but it's an odd deck. It's one that people, you know, do not expect, just for the record, and it really doesn't, I guess the best way I'm seeing it is it's very sporadic. The side deck for it is very sporadic as well, and the extra deck is made to out things. It's specifically made to out literally any deck. Unchained doesn't hold a candle to this deck because of Tikaboo, and it will kill it. Not only that, but it will still main deck thrust. The only things that they really, it's an easy side for side. So basically, you get, I think it's 6 main deck thrust targets, I believe. Yeah, 6 main deck thrust targets. So you just side 6 for 6. If you're confused in what that is, one of them is an Emperor. So you would side out like your terraforming, Dark Ruler, Triple Tech Talent, Feather Duster, Rhoda, and your 1-for-1. You can cut a little engine to get it to work. Get your Lightning Storm, D-Barrier, whatever you're doing. This all depends on matchup. D-Barrier is not going to come up against Unchained. I'm just going to go and tell you that right now. It's pretty simple. D-Barrier is not going to come up against Unchained. D-Barrier is not going to come up against Rescue Race. There's a lot of decks where it's just not going to come up on. Get out of the camera, bud. And my milk. But basically, what it is it's just a weird deck, and it's one that if you don't know it, it's gonna sneak up on you and it's gonna get you. Go down to 4, Bubby. He's just excited. But the deck, it's just weird and sporadic. This is just one of the many decks that's gonna take the game by storm. This is one of them. It's one of them you need to know, because it is very consistent. It is a line of decks that are just very consistent. Consistency kills. I'm sorry if you don't believe that, but it does. Because its side deck consists of, there can only be 1 Droll, Lightning Storm, D-Barrier, Daruma Cannon, Change Your Heart, Evenly, Herald of the Abyss, and 3 enemy econs. Like when you just see econ as the 3 of, and then like a bunch of thrust targets, that makes this deck like that much harder to beat. Not only that, but the extra deck is so diverse. It's playing Typhon and Zeus, Downer, the Lyrilisk Assembled Nightingale, Baguska in case if you can't go anywhere, Underworld Goddess, Access Code, Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Phoenix, the Swordsman Virus dude, which I don't ever play him, but in this deck, it's actually pretty good. Plus, it's a big body. You got IP, SP Little Knight, 2 Sky Striker Zelius, and a Link Karibo. I was in between 2 SP Little Knights or 2 Sky Striker Zelius. I like Azalea more than I like Little Knight. Even though I love Little Knight, don't get me wrong. It was between the 2. I liked Azalea because I didn't need any specific material in order to get a pop. To where SP Little Knight, I kind of need another monster in order to get the pop. The Link Karibo is just for removal going second, which is very smart. Because this deck kind of lacks going second, but if I have to break boards, there's Lightning Storms and everything else in here for thrust targets that are just going to annihilate. So, you know, all the numbers are the standard numbers. Can't get any more straightforward than we already are. Oh wait, Bubby. Crazy. My cat, his name is Noor. He's crazy. But it's just insane. Going first is really good. Going second, if I have the judgments in, I would just side them out. Probably play like either I side them out for econs, just because they're smart. And if I'm going against a deck that can't play under there can only be 1, I will side in there can only be 1, and take out some other non-engine cards that are not gonna be like not as impactful. just so that way I can keep my solemn judgments in, because those cards are busted either way it goes. Sometimes you have to cut a little engine to get results, which is fine. And this deck's super consistent, so if you cut consistency, it's not going to really hurt it that much. You may break every now and again, but the consistency of this deck is so high, like you literally can't break. I went through test hand after test hand after test hand after test hand, and there was never a time where I breaked. Never. It won't happen. So there's this one, and the one we'll go over tomorrow in another video, which is the Centurions. This is another deck. Yes, I know Bonfire won't be out on release, whatever. This is a very expensive deck right now. Obviously, the pre-sales are $35. They go anywhere from $30 to $35. And these are just your normal ultra rares. We'll say, well, this deck's expensive for no reason, blah blah blah. Like, I get it at the same time, but this deck is absolutely insane. Like, you can't sleep on this deck. It does so much, and it's very consistent. That's one thing about this deck, is it's very consistent. No, you chill out. I'm trying to end this video, bub. It's just, you can't really kill decks like this that just have absolute bonker consistency. The side deck for this is a little bit different. I have not made up the side deck for it yet. This is the list that I'm sticking with. I think it's probably one of the best lists. If you ask me, like, what would I play instead of Bonfire, maybe a second King Sarcophagus, or I would play 3 Vision Resonator and 3 Crimson Gaia. So, like, we have the consistency. It just depends on how you want to do it. I mean, it does not matter to me. All I know is that these decks are going to take the game by storm. And the other one, which I need to build and get the video ready for you all, which is the Fire Kings. Obviously, it just won the OCG YCS. Obviously, it's a very crazy. But yeah, I need to get the Fire Kings up for you all, so you all can, like, be prepared for when they come out, and maybe, make a deck list on them. Basically, what you want to do. It doesn't really matter. I'll get it figured out for you all. This is the list that I found for Centurion, which is literally the best list in my personal opinion. Like, not really much you can do. Thrust targets, again, are like exactly the same. They're almost standard in every deck, exactly the same. The only difference that I would make in this deck is I would main Gravity Collapse, like in the side deck, because if you get Gravity Collapse off, it's over. All it takes. Flip Gravity Collapse, good game. It's over. But like I said, I'm main decking Ash, Droll, and Emperor. I feel it's pretty standard. You could take Droll and move it to the side and play Effect Veiler, because this is the deck that plays with the graveyard, so I think Effect Veiler is going to be pretty good this format. Also, there could be an opportunity where DD Crow shows back up, which it's been in and out in the format. I can see DD Crow really picking back up, but from what my buddies were telling me at the YCS that they attended, DD Crow was hit or miss. Like, it did work, but then there were times where it did absolutely nothing, which, is the case. We're in a balanced format. These decks are going to shake up the balanced format and change it. It will no longer be a balanced format. It will be a tier 1 with Rescue Race, Centurion, Memento, and what's soon to be Fire Kings. Now, on this, besides Infernoid's coming out, which will be a tier 1 deck, which we all know this. If you don't know this, you might want to do some research. If you want a deck profile, I can get one up. I can literally make any deck and show you what will be the best line for them. I would have to learn the line for Infernoids, because I've played Infernoids like twice in my life, and the new cards do not work the same as the old cards did. So there's a new line to it. There's deck combos, the whole deal. So if you want that, just let me know in the comments down below. I will get to it. Also, there is another tier 1 deck coming out. I think it was like what, you Bell or something. Gives you Bell, which it topped in OCG. I don't know how it would do here in TCG. I'm kind of interested in playing Drytron again, because the new support the one new support card and the unbanning of what was once a limited Herald of the Orange Light is now back to 3, and Benton's back at 3 for the first time, and that's kind of bonkers. So I would like to put Drytron back together and give it a try, because Shifter is like not as relevant right now. So I would like to try that, but I will get a list for like the best Texas format. This is definitely one of them. So if you're looking to pick this deck up, I mean, I would just go ahead and do it. You know, don't make yourself broke doing it. Like, be smart about it, because this deck's gonna be here for a while. This is the list. If you want to build the deck, just use the list and build it. Again, you can literally get 3 structured decks, or just buy the Crimson Resonators or Crimson Guys right out. They're like 10 cents a piece, I think. And you'll be good there. They literally just came in a structure deck. They're not worth anything. And bonfires, they'll be probably a little expensive at launch. And this deck will get expensive, so if you're gonna jump on it, do it early. Don't jump on the pre-sale prices right now, because they're a little extreme. But if you notice a rise and you're like, man, if this deck gets any higher, I can't afford it, then that's probably a good time to start jumping on it. At least, like, you know, start getting like one piece at a time, sort of thing. Don't do something that's gonna like break your bank account, because that's not a good idea. Without further ado, if you guys have any questions about the video whatsoever, any things you want to learn about Memento, is any other line you want to learn, I know them all. Just hit me up in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'm Pierce Nation, and we will see you in the next video. Pierce Nation out.